Welcome to Museo Historico Municipalidad Natales in beautiful Puerto, Natales, Chile. Today happens to be Tuesday, May the 12th, 2026. It's Howard Paul Shore. I've got Rodolfo. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, that's so good. What's up, people? Welcome to Puerto Natales Museum. My name is Rodolfo.
Great.
I'm talk about of the different areas of this museum.
Great. Well, let's go inside.
Let's go. Come on, everybody. Come on. Well, the museum has 6 areas with 1 floor. Let's begin to the first area. The first area, you will see a lot of information about 2 types. The prehistoric era of Lascaux and our 2 indigenous groups. The names were the Aonikin people, aka the Welches or Patagonians, and the Kawascar people. Well, I'm talking about the prehistoric era of this place. One of the prehistoric animals were living here. The most principal of them was the Milodon. Oh, scientific name, Milodon darwini. This animal, it has very long because his weight is 2 to 5 meters and his weight is 3 tons. This animal has very large, sharp nails for protect itself to the different predators. Their names are 2. Well, their names were 2. The humans, the primitive humans, and the saber-tooth tiger. This, if you wanna look at it. He's hunting. Is hunting at Milodon. This animal has a particularly is about his remains. What's happening to the remains of this animal? Well, the first man who see or take of remains of this animal was the German settler Hermann Eberhard, who found it to the Milodon cave. He found it remains of this animal, especially the skin of the Milodon. And then there were a lot of explorers who taken different remains of Milodon, and then he taken of them, I refers to the remains, to the different parts of world, including Argentina, but the most principally to the British Museum. There are currently the Milodon remains. There are currently in British Museum, right? And then you can see a real remains of the Milodon. Very small, but 100% really actual remains. There you will see a small remains of this animal. The second one is a sample of Milodon hair, and the first one is a Milodon excrement or Milodon poop. There are other animals who living with the Milodon. The saber-tooth. This saber-tooth is very weight because his weight is 4,000 tons, and his teeth are very large. The centimeters of his large is 18 centimeters. And this another big animal, the Macrauchenia, he has very noise for breathe. And then, well, you will see, if you stay in the museum, do you see different cave painting rocks? Well, this painting rock is located here, well, in Punta Arenas and in Lascaux province. Come on. Or regarding these painting rocks. Well, the paintings are in an obvious state of deterioration, perhaps due to the humidity of the place. The motif is that the motif is a circle with 7 rays like a zombicide, which are some aligning points. And they're representing of this painting. You see some morphic animals, some morphic humans, you know. this is a very curious. Okay, these paintings are located in the Mother of God Island, the old place who were living the Kawascar people. And then you can see this weapon. This weapon they were used the Aonican for hunting different animals, such as guanacos, rheas. In Argentina they were hunting jaguares, but the most principal of their alimentation were of the food. Technically the fruit, there are two, guanacos and rheas. We can see the archer, the archer, the arrow, and then the most principal weapon of our king is those ones. Those ones there are the weapons of them called boleadoras. If you threw this weapon to the neck of the rest, he died. He died probably. Well, this is a characteristic of them. They were very tall and muscular people. Because the man, his weight is to 1.8 meters to maybe 2 meters, and they used the guanaco skin for cover of his body. What's happening, and then if you like it, you can see Aonican drawings and paintings, and the Aonican cave. This cave called the car. They used the skin of the guanaco who created this cave. The timing of the hide. The once curate, the best of these two legal hides would be selected, and the extremity, the tail, the head, and the strip for the flanks would be cut off. The leather from the abdomen was not used as it was too thin, not very resistant, and the fur was too short. The trimmed pieces were then sewn together in a task that was often collective when the work distributed amongst several women now as caperas, using our needles or the tendons of nyandu or guanaco. Thread they assembled the kai keep. Each cape had her own style, and the garments should carry her stamp. The remarks for each hide were also used in the capes. There are kai made with for forehead with flags and other things. This is Aonican drawings of paintings. These are was so deeply rooted among the Aonican that they deployment in incredible discipline that transformed it into a level of solicitation that was truly admirable. Once the piece was stitched together, it was laid out on the ground, and the lines which would contain the key patterns and the borders were drawn copying with 6 centimeters. They used different minerals like amarillo, amod, other things. Mm-hmm. What happening to the Aonican people? The Aonican people were disappeared of Chile by a viruela extinction. Currently, the all Aonican who were living this place, they are extinct. Maybe, but in Argentina, there are many descendants of Aonican. This is a curious fact. Why the Aonican have this name? Because Aonican means southern people o gente del sur in Spanish. Patagones means big people. And the Tehuelches mean brave people. This is a curiosity. And the other people, there were Huescar, who was nomad of the southern seas. He lives on the canoe who was fabricated with woven, called cowbells, cypress de la Huayteca. They're using a different weapon like a pony, like this one. I know. Like this. They were hunting the sea wolf, the bears, the mamules, and more other animals. The Kawashkar believe in different gods. The most important of them is Ayayema, who was the devil of the Kawashkar, who will carry on, who had almost much better to say, who was take the souls of the Kawashkar people. The Kawashkar people, well, this is the example of, this is a real Kawashkar canoe. They were living in this place. They're living in all this family with kids, with mother, with grandparents, and more other things. And then you can see a mask, a Kawashkar mask. Used the different ceremonies or ritual initiation for the young people. What happening to the Kawashkar? The Kawashkar, they may be extinct because there was like to drink alcohol, and then there may be extinct in 2020. But the president of on this moment, Pedro Aguirre Cerda, who saved of them, who carry on to the small village called Puerto, right? And then we go to the second area of the museum. The second area of the museum, you can see of all of these objects. There talks about of the process of colonization of Lascaux province, because the colonists who came here to work for different motives, like to good job, to build a style of life and more other things. But the man who started with the colonization was the German settler called Hermann Eberhard. Right there. This is a photograph of M. Hermann Eberhard. He crossed the Balmaceda Lake, the plains of Diana, the Isthmus Bay, and he founded the first ranch activity called Puerto Consuelo. One of the people who accompanied M or followed M in his expedition was his cousin Ernest von Heinz. Ernest von Heinz, who on 24 of December of 1894, before an arrival, and then he calls the river Natales, because Natales means in Latin nacimiento. Yes, because this day, the 24th of December, is the birthday of Jesus Christ. In all these photographs, you can see a photograph of Hermann Eberhard family and the family, such as in this photograph, there are a family of M. His son, right on the left, to the second left is his brother-in-law, his sister. There are two his daughters. Her name is Dorothea, and her name was Luisa. This is a curiosity. If you go to the coastline of the Puerto Natales city, you can see an enormous hill called Dorothea, because its name was in honor of Dorothea Eberhard's daughter. And this is the second area of the museum, the memory room of the people. In this area, you can see a different small shop of Puerto Natales city, the different sport for curious people to eat, like this one, ceramic cup, the emelet. In this photograph, do you show them? In this photograph, you can see a curiosity of Puerto Natales curiosity. Example, the first communion on the number one. The number two is talked about to the first school in the village of Puerto Natales city. The number three is the work of children in colonization times in Natales. The number four, the horse-drawn carriage with balls of wood from Argentina. The number five, the cult and millet of a flock of sheep. This man was Manuel Flores, the first policeman in this city. And then in the number seven, there are pioneers of Puerto Prat Ranch. The number nine is the workers and engineers from Puerto Natales meat refrigeration plant, or the refrigeration plant of Frigorífico Natales in Spanish. The accordions and guitars. The police presence of these colonial times. The neighbors and friends. And the number 14, the football and sociality space. And the number 15, the lands of immigrants. You can see the cans, the pharmacy decision, the box register. It's very big. This is a hot water bottle. This is fabricated in England in the year 1904. It was used by settlers in the town of Natales to heat the beds in the cold Patagonian winters in the manner of practical rubber materials. To show a sword from Carabineros de Chile or the Chilean policeman, because the man who was founded this museum was the policeman Juan Carlos Olivares Garrido on 25th of 1990. Then this is one of the other areas of the museum. In different areas, you can see the old houses of Puerto Natales city. There are still exist, and the other ones of them was there's no still exist today. You can see the object used at the Red Cross of Chile. The main Red Cross was founded in 1916, and the Women Red Cross was founded in 1922. The local newspaper. You can see the local newspaper of Puerto Natales city, such as El Austral, was founded in 1939. The El Natales, El Esfuerzo, El País, El Magallanes. The first newspaper published in Puerto Natales was La Aurora, founded in 1990 by the journalist Manuel Zorrilla. The old photography of Lascaux, the old handbags, the clocks, time teller, and then the most important or interesting part of this area is those photographs. In those photographs, you can see all the photographs of the early years of this city, such as the church Maria Auxiliadora, the church with the old municipality of Puerto Natales city, the square of Puerto Natales city in his early years. Well, the main square, which was built beginning in the 1920s, pine trees were planted under the German consul Rudolf Stubenraut initiative. The plaza was fenced in to protect the trees and bushes from the animals which circulated through the city, such as horses and oxen. The parochial church, the work of the religious architect Juan Bernabé, inaugurated in March of 1930. This building was considered a pioneer in design for the use of brickwork in this urban setting. de Sociedad de Explotadores de Tierra del Fuego financed its construction. And in the 1930s, Puerto Natales was a town made up of wooden houses along on the shoreline. Business hotels and modest homes were distributed along the few streets which existed. Now the parochial church and the municipal office building. And the number 4, you can see this is a real paper of the foundation of Puerto Natales City. The real decree with the president, with the scene of the president, Ramon Borges Luco, in this moment. And the one of the last area, well, this other area talks about of the shepherds or gauchos in Chile. This is the poleadores, the same weapon who used the Welches. The last area of the museum is talks about the hygiene during colonial times, because the people used this one for wash all his body. And this is a different wallet used the people of Chile. The people of Chile built this wallet by wooden and very weight. This is a bed used a co-worker who worked in Puerto ranch, and this one was donated by his daughter in 1990. Wow, this area there's nothing of objects. Well, the only object is to show is the photograph showing part of the Puerto Natales of the Hotel Puerto Prat, circa 1920. This strategic location close to the road that led to the ranch of Cerro Castillo and Cerro Guido, as well as other locations within the territory, means that the shepherds, cart drivers, and travelers could come in and enjoy the delicate offered by the hotel kitchen or its well-stocked bar. This is an old photography of old house on Puerto Natales, the old car used the people. This is an object used the ranchers for the horse. Before to use the cars. And then this is an old house in Puerto Natales City to belong to the family Alvarado Villarroel. This last area, there were two animals, Magellanic penguin and Mora eagle, but they are hid in another part of the museum because it's very delicate to maintain them. Well, that's all. I very good like this museum.
Rodolfo, thank you so much for this wonderful tour of this amazing historical museum. So when people come to beautiful Puerto Natales, they definitely have to stop here and check it out.
No, thanks for coming at this place. I hope you to love it, this museum.
Absolutely. I'm sure many people will, and thank you so much, and have a great day. Come visit. Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Take care.